Okay, this is one of the greatest little tricks I use to get things to display nicely on the screen. Sometimes when you try to do it down here in the question text, it can get a little tricky. So what I do, and especially because like for something like this, right, where it worked fine for 4 plus 5, but the second it generates that negative number to be our second one, come on, give me a negative. It's just, there we go. You get that plus and minus, and that, you're like, no, 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 that should just be negative 5 minus 5, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to learn, there's a little function here. It's called Makexxpretty. Okay. And I know it's funny sounding, but what that does is it just makes your function with variables in it. That's why the XX is in there. It makes it look pretty. And it works for things that don't have variables as well. So what is the thing we're trying to make look pretty? Well, that was $A plus $B, right? And what I do is I say it's going to output, it's going to take this and output it as like a text, as something to look pretty on the screen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to call it like $equation. So I'm going to say take this text, make it look pretty, and make it equation. Except I believe we need to have this around parentheses around it, saying this is my text, even though it has variables inside of it. Just there you go. Now, so what does that mean for down here? Well, in my function here, instead of having like $A, $B, I'm just going to say $equation. So whatever equation I wrote up here, make it look pretty and store it in the variable eqn, equation, and then that's what it's going to show on the screen. So when I hit submit, boom. So let's see, there we go, 4 minus 2, that gives us 2. So you can see how that kind of cleans up the display for us. So to recap, what are we going to do? We're going to say, I need to store it in a variable. I need to take this pretty text that I want to put on the screen and store it as something. You can call it whatever you want. I like equation because then when you're reading this, I think it's easy to see, oh, that's the equation on the screen. You're going to say, make XX pretty. And then whatever you want to show up pretty on the screen needs to go in quotations. If you don't have quotations, it doesn't know it's text and it does funny things. Okay, so it actually does the math. It doesn't display it as like text. It's like A plus B. Let's do that problem and then show that on the screen. So anyway, so we do it like this. So it says, no, 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 you're supposed to show that as text and it displays appropriately. Okay. In the next video, we'll talk about how you actually write a problem.